You know, for over 400 years, there's been one play that has absolutely haunted our stages and our minds more than any other. But what is it? What gives Hamlet this incredible staying power? Well, in this explainer, we're going to try and unpack that very mystery, drawing on some really fascinating insights from a recent Turkish edition of the play.
So the source we're using kicks things off with a simple but kind of brilliant idea. It suggests we stop debating whether Shakespeare is great, because, that's subjective, and instead focus on how famous he is. That's a real, concrete cultural fact, and that one little shift in perspective, it changes everything.
All right, let's start there. Shakespeare's fame isn't just about some dusty book on a high school reading list. No, his influence runs so deep, it's so completely woven into the fabric of our culture that we often speak his words and use his ideas without even realizing it.
And this slide really breaks that down. I mean, think about it. It's not just a few common sayings or cool movie titles. Shakespeare is this constant well of inspiration, a benchmark for all other art, and, get this, literally an entire industry. His fame isn't some historical footnote. It's an active, living force in the world right now.
Okay, so let's turn to the creator himself. You'd think we'd know everything there is to know about the world's most famous writer, right? But his life is surprisingly full of shadows.
And this, right here, illustrates the central paradox perfectly. We have the basic facts: birth, marriage, death, even property records. But the crucial stuff, the information that could really light up his art for us, those are just blank spaces. The lost years, where he just vanishes from the record. How a guy from a small town broke into the cutthroat London theater scene. What he was up to in retirement. We just don't know. We have his timeless words, but the man himself, he's still an enigma.
So with the creator's mysterious context set, let's dive into his most famous masterpiece, a work so significant our source actually calls it the play of plays.
And hey, just a quick reminder, the insights shaping our journey today are coming from the introductory essays in this very cool Turkish edition of Hamlet, translated by the scholar Bülent Bozkurt.
So on the surface, the plot seems like a classic revenge story, right? Step 1, a ghost shows up and demands vengeance. Step 2, our hero investigates. Step 3, everybody dies. It sounds super straightforward, and this is what our source makes so clear, the simplicity of this story is deeply, profoundly deceptive.
See, the crucial point isn't the plot, it's the man at the center of it all. And as our source puts it, trying to define who Hamlet actually is feels like trying to hold smoke in your hands. His personality is just impossible to pin down.
And this is the core of his power. Hamlet contains multitudes. He's the philosopher, asking the biggest questions imaginable about life and death. He's this modern man trapped between a corrupt, lying political world and a spiritual one he can't fully grasp. He's the ultimate actor, able to be anyone, and because of that, maybe no one at all. He's not just a single character, he's a mirror reflecting our own deepest, most unanswerable questions back at us.
And that incredible complexity is exactly what has allowed every new generation of actors and directors to reinvent Hamlet in their own image.
This timeline is just fascinating, because it shows that Hamlet isn't one fixed character. He's more like a vessel. In the rational 18th century, he's a sane man faking it. In the emotional romantic era, he's a genuinely tortured soul. By the Freudian 20th century, he's got an Oedipus complex, that famous idea about a son's rivalry with his father. And for the existentialists, he's a man confronting a meaningless universe. He becomes whatever the age needs him to be. He reflects the anxieties of the time in which he is performed.
All of which brings us to the ultimate challenge the play poses, not just for actors on a stage, but for anyone who tries to carry its meaning to a new audience or into a new language.
I just love this quote. The translator of our source text, Bülent Bozkurt, perfectly captures the spirit of the play's challenge. He's talking about translation, sure, but it applies to everyone. Hamlet is like a mountain. It's huge, it's difficult, and it seems almost impossible to conquer. But because it's there, artists feel this irresistible pull to at least try and climb it.
And in the end, that's why we just can't look away. Whether you're an actor, a translator, or sitting in the audience, the play forces you to confront yourself. Its enduring power comes from this unique ability to reflect our own humanity, our own questions, our own time. And so it leaves us with a question that's been echoing for 4 centuries. When you look into this play, what part of yourself do you see looking back?